urban fishing in the Palm Beaches is one of the coolest things you can do because you don't need to go through the hassle of launching a boat, getting in the water, going through an inlet. You can literally drive around, find these amazing little fisheries in the Palm Beaches. What I tend to do is look at Google Earth and try and find really, really cool little spots of water. And then I zoom in and try and see if there are any fences that would restrict access. And that's where you can drive around and go and fish. And you can catch anything from freshwater tarpon, sometimes even freshwater snook in these lakes. There's great peacock bass fishings in the canal system, also largemouth bass. There's jaguar cichlids, there's Mayan cichlids. There's a whole different variety of exotic fish here in South Florida. I've even heard of people catching snakehead right up into Palm Beach County. So it can be fantastic fishing. Just remember always to check where you're fishing. You don't want to fish on any private or restricted land. So watch out for any keep out signs or no fishing signs. You want to abide by those and try and find those spots where you're actually allowed to fish. We're fishing with shrimp this morning. A lot of people will actually hook the shrimp in the tail. I don't like to do that because it restricts the movement of the shrimp. So I hook it right through the ridge at the top of the head, just making sure that I don't go through the brain. And in that way, the shrimp will have a nice natural movement in the water. You can see the hook. That's the only non-benefit to doing that. But again, the movement is not restricted, which is a great plus. It's what we do. I'm on. Somebody's just taken my shiner. Yep, I got him on. Oh, it's a nice little tarpon. There he goes. Woo, beautiful little fish. Let's see if we can get him in here. Oh, he's off. Tiny little juvenile tarpon here in a little freshwater lake.
That's a micro tarpon.
Well, that's what we call a Palm Beach release, a nice small juvenile tarpon. Obviously, as these tarpon get bigger, they'll head out into the open ocean sometimes, but they can live in fresh water. They can live in fresh water, salt water, brackwater, pretty much anything. And they can also live in water with very low oxygen content because they actually breathe air. So when tarpon roll, they're rolling on the surface to actually get air into their air bladders. Got a nice Mayan. Bring it up. Nice Mayan. Beautiful. Talk about that fish, Kepper.
This is a Mayan cichlid. They're very beautiful looking. They almost look like peacocks, kinda, with their spot on the back. They're fighting little fish.
Got a little tarpon on here. Hold on. Oh, yeah, and he's off again. Another little tiny tarpon. This is awesome fun. That's about the smallest tarpon I've ever seen. You can see what they do is they descale the fish sometimes before they eat them, and that's what you want to do is give them some time. You can see the scales taken off the shiner right there. And this is pretty awesome. Let's give it another go. Tiny little tarpon going for these shiners. Very cool. That was a pretty awesome thing to see. That's about as small as they get, that little tarpon there.
What's so cool about these tarpon is that they can go from 2 pounds to 200 pounds, and their scales when they're 2 pounds are like this big, and their scales when they're 200 pounds are like that big.
Awesome saltwater species caught here in a freshwater pond in Boynton Beach. Now we're going to go head off and try and see if we can catch some peacocks. Stay with us on Hooked on the Palm Beaches.